Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're cracking the code on Microsoft Power Apps. If you've ever looked at some clunky process at work and thought, oh, there has to be a better way, then you are in the right place. We're going to show you how to start building your own custom apps in just a few minutes. And no, you don't need a coding degree.
Okay, let's just get right into it. Does this feel familiar? Are you absolutely buried in spreadsheets? Maybe you're just stuck doing the same manual, repetitive tasks over and over, and you just know a computer should be doing it for you. If you're not in your head right now, stick with me.
Well, this is the solution. Meet Power Apps. It's what's called a low-code platform from Microsoft, and it lets basically anyone, and I mean anyone, build their own custom apps for the web and for mobile. And here's the best part. It's designed to connect directly to the data you're already using, whether that's in an Excel file, a SharePoint list, or some other cloud service.
But here's the thing. You gotta understand this isn't just another tool. It's really part of a bigger movement, this low-code revolution. The whole point is to put the power to create and solve problems right into your hands, so you don't have to wait in that long line for the IT department. So how do you get started in this revolution? Well, it all begins with a pretty simple choice. You've got three main types of apps you can build, and each one is made for a different kind of job. So your first big decision is this. Are you an artist or are you an architect? Think of a Canvas app like, well, a blank canvas. You get total control over how it looks, down to the last pixel. It's perfect for really specific, task-focused apps. On the other hand, model-driven apps are the total opposite. You start with your data as the blueprint, and the app's interface pretty much builds itself for you. This is your go-to for more complex business processes from start to finish. And what about that third type? Well, that's for when you need to talk to the outside world. They're called portal apps, and they let you build actual websites so people outside your company, we're talking customers, partners, you name it, can securely interact with your data. Okay, that's enough theory. Let's actually step into the workshop, the studio, and see where all the magic happens. This is your digital canvas. Welcome to the Power App Studio. This is pretty much your command center. Right in the middle, you've got the main canvas where you see your app come to life. On the left, you've got all your controls to add things. On the right, all the properties to tweak how they look and act. And up top, that is the super important formula bar. And now think of building your app kind of like playing with Lego bricks. And these are your most common pieces. You've got labels for static text, buttons to make things happen, galleries to show a list of items, and forms to edit a specific one. Seriously, if you can master just these basic building blocks, you can build almost anything you can think of. Of course, an app without any data is just, well, it's just a pretty picture, right? It doesn't actually do anything. So let's talk about how we hook it up to a power source.
And we do that using things called connectors. The best way to think of them is like universal adapters. They create a safe, secure bridge between your app and hundreds of different data sources, letting your app read and write information back and forth without you having to do any heavy lifting.
Now, you should know that not all connectors are the same. They're basically split into two groups. You've got standard connectors. These are for common things like SharePoint or OneDrive, and they usually come with your regular Office 365 license. But if you want to connect to the heavy-duty stuff, like a big SQL Server database, you're going to need what's called a premium license.
Okay, pay close attention here. When you start working with a lot of data, there is one single concept you absolutely, positively have to understand. It's what we call the 2,000 record limit, and trust me, you want to know about this.
The secret to getting past that limit is something called delegation. So think of it like this. Without delegation, your app tries to pull down all your data first, up to 2,000 records, and then it tries to sort or filter it. Not great. With delegation, your app tells the data source, hey, you're the powerful one. You do the hard work of filtering and sorting, and just send me back the small bit of data I actually need. If you can't delegate a function, your app gets stuck with that 2,000 record limit. Getting this right is what makes an app truly powerful. All right, let's head into our final section. This is where we give our app a brain. We're going to add the logic that makes it smart and lets it react to what the user is doing.
Let's get some terms straight real quick. A function is like a single word that your app understands, like the word navigate or sum. A formula is the complete sentence that you build using those words to actually make something happen. Simple as that.
Your app also needs a way to remember things. And for that, you have two kinds of memory. You've got global variables, which are like long-term memory. You can access them from any screen in your app, perfect for stuff like the user's name. Then you have context variables. They're like short-term memory. They only exist on one single screen. So really, it all boils down to this super simple rule. If you need to store one single thing, one name, one number, you use a variable. If you need to store a whole table of information inside your app, like items in a shopping cart, you use something called a collection. So when you put it all together, making your app do something is a really simple three-step dance. 1, you pick a control, like a button. 2, you pick an event, like onSelect, which just means when someone clicks this. And 3, you write a formula that tells it what to do, like navigate to the next screen. That's it.
And there you have it. That's the basic blueprint for building with Power Apps. You now get the different app types, you know the building blocks, you know how to connect to data, and you know how to give your app a brain. The power is officially in your hands. So I guess there's only one real question left. What problem are you going to solve first?